Hey, Mariah. I am so glad you're going to help us kind of put flesh and blood to some of these concepts of what it's like to feel that automatic behavior come on when it's stress. Um, and it looks different to everybody. Then what does it look like when you go, hey, let me see what's going to work for me? And let me just slow it down, right? Instead of going to that automatic speed, let me kind of downshift. Okay. And then seeing that this new thing emerges.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Already, I know a little bit about your stress because I'm a performer, and I don't even have the courage to record music. I don't even want to know what I sound like. So the fact that you have written your own song, you recorded it, and it's coming out, right? Monday?
Halloween Tuesday.
Halloween Tuesday. Okay, so I'm sure you made it, and there was probably no anxiety. Tell me when kind of discomfort set in, when you just went, oh wow, what am I doing?
Yeah. So actually, it's interesting because it didn't just happen with the recording. It happened with when I performed it for the first time as well.
Okay, that was the
So
first
that
thing.
was probably like a year ago. I've had this song already. I've already had it, but I would just perform it for myself. So the song is called Foggy, in parentheses, The Upside Down, and it's based off of the Netflix original series Stranger Things because I'm a big fan of it. But this song is about mental health and my personal mental health. You know, sometimes when you are in the lowest state ever, it could feel like you are in the upside down. And for my Stranger Things lovers, you know what that visually looks like. But for the people who haven't watched Stranger Things, the upside down is basically an exact copy of our dimension and our world, but it's just flipped. So everything in there is kind of scary, dark, evil. It's foggy. There's weird material and like floaties in the air that kind of looks like I don't know, monster flesh that's floating around. It's creepy.
Oh yeah. It sounds kind of nightmarish.
Very nightmarish. And so what really stood out to me in the first season, I related so much to Will because Will feels very isolated. He's stuck in there. He's stuck in a scary place as a kid, and he's trying to get out by reaching out to people. He reaches out to his mom by flickering Christmas lights, kind of like giving her a message in that way. But I don't want to spoil it, but also season 1 was a long time ago. So if you haven't watched it, then maybe you should watch it if you don't want spoilers. But he does make it out of the upside down, but he does have trauma from it, and it's just like a very scary place. So this song is kind of about sometimes your mental health could feel like you're in the upside down. You're still living in the same world, but it's scarier because your brain is reacting to stimuli. Like, it's just a scary place. So the reason why I was anxious about playing it for the first time, and I'm kind of anxious about the release this Halloween on Tuesday, is because I mentioned some dark stuff, and I'm just nervous that it might be too dark for people, or I'm nervous that some people may not understand, and all of those anxious thoughts one may feel when they're releasing something so vulnerable. And that's why I was scared. I mean, that's why I'm still a little anxious. So
yeah. And so the more you realized the whole reason you wrote the song and were so clear about how it compared to this favorite TV show, and by the way, I love how you unpacked that, because some people just, yeah, I like this show. You know, you're able to really articulate, this really means something, you know, and I can see this in my own life. And so I just want to applaud you as an artist that you're going to help us understand that a lot better.
Thank you.
But I understand the stress of, hey, you're the type of personality that wants to make connections with people. And if you're going to put something out that is misunderstood, then that connection separates. And that's a really scary thing, I imagine, for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but when did you finally start to see, okay, maybe I will connect with my audience? When were you able to kind of let this go as far as personal rejection and put it like, hey, maybe this could be a metaphor? I mean, when did you start have kind of peace about it?
So there's many things that I want to mention about that. So recently I've just been living off of this idea that, hey, regardless of whatever happens in this world, whatever happens in my life, I want to finish my art. Or like, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Because sometimes it could be hard for me to finish things because I get so distracted, and or I could
Uh-huh.
get overwhelmed with everything I want to do that sometimes I kind of don't do it. But
Uh-huh.
so what happened is I just want to finish my art, and I personally feel really proud what I composed for it, and I also kind of just want it part of my musical collection. I want people to see my work and kind of see my personality through it. Like, oh, she's a sci-fi fan. Oh, she's a, you know, like I kind of want people to see that as well. But I also know a lot of people struggle with feeling these dark thoughts, and so I maybe if it could help someone feel less alone, that could be helpful. But yeah, the main thing was finishing my art, and also the fact that I believe mental health shouldn't be something that people feel ashamed of, or I just feel we should be more understanding about it. And so I'm trying to live by that. The second thing that helped is our conversation the other day. So for those who are watching, I'm a type 4, and sometimes when you could correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but sometimes if I'm in my low master, I go to a 2, and then but if I want to be integrated and feel balanced, I go to 1. And ones really love to pay attention to their values. And so whenever I really think of my values, I want to finish my art. I believe mental health should be something that people are more understanding about, that that has less of a negative stigma around. And once I think about those, then the anxiety is kind of hushed for a moment. Then I'm like, I'm not doing anything bad.
Yeah.
I'm living according to my goals. So I guess if you want to explain that better as an Enneagram expert.
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind when you said, I want to finish my art, I really think one, see things through. There's a story about this person where there was an emergency situation, and they were trying to decide who was going to go help the emergency situation. The one was like, well, yeah, I don't mind if I'm in danger. This is just the right thing to do. And it seems like, you just saw that, hey, I'm going to do what it takes to finish this. It's the right thing to do. And then also, like you said, your principles of, I believe mental health needs to be reformed. Our ones are huge reformers. They see where things need to be better, and so that just helps advance, us understanding mental health better.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so I'm so glad you took the time to reflect on that instead of giving to this, what seemed like maybe a year, right? Is that right? A kind of a year of holding back. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful, because sometimes I could get lost and things could get foggy.
Yeah.
About decisions I make. I'm like, is this the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Is this cringe? Is it not cringe?
Yeah.
So whenever you said that, pay attention to your values, I'm like, it's so clear. I have something that's set in stone for me.
What I thought was interesting is it's almost like you've got a bodily memory of what it's like to have that year in the fog. I mean, you literally have an image, and I imagine you know what that feels like. Anxious, fearful. But then you said when you thought about the characters of the one, of hardworking, finishing what you started, social reform as far as mental health goes, the light came on. I mean, those are two very different places to be.
Definitely.
You know, one's fog, one's a light bulb. And so when did things become even clearer? What, once that light bulb, was there another vision that came forth?
Yeah, it was kind of that moment, just realizing my values. And to go further, like I mentioned, sometimes things could get foggy. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing. But once I focus on the values, it felt like I was focusing on the facts. But the facts that are true to me, I guess, like the facts about myself, the facts about the things that are important to me, something sturdy.
Yeah, that fogginess of emotions that, and there's nothing wrong with emotions, right? That's what makes you such a great artist, as you describe things, and then we can feel them with you. But when emotions are keeping you from being where you want to be for something that's going to work for you, then that's when it's an issue, right?
Yes.
That's when you gotta look at something different. And luckily, as a 4, you can go to the 1. That's kind of your light bulb. And then I think of just how it kind of you want to leave this longevity of work. It used to be scary just to think of putting 1 out there. And now you're like, well, I could put this body of work out there for the rest of my life, and that leaves something for the next generation. So yeah, to wrap this up, we know that butterflies are drawn to a certain plant. So the caterpillar will go to a certain plant, like monarchs, to the milkweed. An emperor caterpillar will go to the goat willow tree leaf. And those are nutrients they have to have, And so for the 4, the things they have to have, the food they need, are those extraordinary emotions. It makes them feel alive. Yeah. But sometimes when those patterns are getting you not moving forward, then we have to go into the cocoon. And this is where the worm has a chance to become a butterfly, right? And so that cocoon is a place of rest and reflection, which was, hey, wait a minute, yeah, like a 1, I am principled. Like a 1, I'm a hard worker. Like a 1, I'm a reformer. So those are the facts, right? Yeah. And then the last stage is this butterfly that's going to leave these 200 eggs. They leave 200 eggs at a time. And those are going to be the little butterflies that are in the next generation. I mean, just think of it as 200 songs, that are left for the next generation. And hopefully we can talk about this stigma of mental health being of the past, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited that you've gotten out of the fog and are migrating into these new lands to explore. And only a 4 could have given you that. Thank you, Mariah, for helping us play through how nature and human behavior can sometimes dive into each other.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Cool.